So, Ted,
Time to do the thing.
time to do the thing that you always do.
Welcome to Downtime in the Apocalypse, a podcast where Ted talks and Kevin listens.
And you are?
I'm Ted.
And I'm Kevin. And welcome to the podcast. Yeah, it's been a little bit since we've recorded for
It,
there, Ted.
it has. Due to some technical difficulties, we had to take off the episode we had recorded last time and shred it, basically. That,
Yeah.
for multiple reasons, is just dead to us.
It's dead to us, and then we're going to move on past that, and we're going to re-record the episode, I suppose.
Now,
Yeah.
Kevin, I have the memory of a goldfish, so I don't really remember much about what we talked about. But thankfully, we have the RPG sheets for the characters made in front of us, so at least I can do that.
I'm glad we don't ritualistically burn them after every time we make them.
I mean, we did for those first few episodes.
Oh, yeah. I wonder why we stopped that. Maybe it's for reasons like this.
Yeah.
In hindsight, that seems kind of stupid now. But
yeah, we could have
whatever.
laminated those and sell them off as collectors, put them in an auction.
Oh yeah, and everyone could see our terrible handwriting. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love it. All
Yeah,
right.
they can also see how I make character sheets because this is something I used to judge my former students for. They would not make a character sheet with a piece of notebook paper. They would beg and beg for me to print out character sheets, and I always thought of them as kind of bitches for it.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from on that. That's fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah, I can make a 3.5 character
Yeah.
on a piece of paper.
Yeah. Just from memory alone, yeah.
Yeah, and it's probably better than that because I have my own system. This goes here, this goes here, this goes here.
Right, where places where you allocate your where you can easily find the information you need, basically.
Exactly. The feats are on the front page, is what they do. Blah blah blah. There's just a separate page for items. I know how I like it.
Yeah.
And just watching them try to do that a few times was hilarious. Like, oh, you spoiled bitches.
Ted, from atop your high horse of staring down at children doing their D&D sheets for the first time. Yeah.
Back in my day, we used 3.5. No, that's not the right. A4 paper. We used 3.5 paper. Actually, that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be thematically accurate, I think.
Can you even buy that? I mean,
I don't think so. I'm sure there's specialty paper places that would probably do that for you.
Yeah, A5 paper is my favorite paper size. So I kind of want to use A5.
Welcome to the podcast. We're talking about our favorite types of paper. A5.
A5. Look, have you ever used A5 paper? It's very nice. It's way better than A4 and way better than letter.
I don't know. It's just kind of funny to me. This whole week's been catching up. All right. Anyway, so speaking of weeks, I suppose, Ted, we've shared some experiences here over the last few days. How's your week been going otherwise, though?
So, Kevin is hinting at the fact that we were on a stream last night.
Yes, that's very true.
I believe the channel name is I'm Livid.
.tv, yes.
.tv, where you can watch us play Jackbox and make sexual innuendos.
For like 90 minutes.
Legitimately, they wrote themselves.
Yeah, they did. We also played a game earlier, which was another sexual innuendo in and of itself. It Takes Two. That was a game where a man was nailing a ragdoll woman, and she was hammering him in turn.
Yeah, now that makes more sense in context, but I don't entirely know how these two people got turned into dolls.
Oh, so I'll give you like a quick run through.
Okay.
When you weren't there, we started the game and everything, but basically they're going through like a divorce, right? And their daughter knows that they're going through a divorce, and she made like dolls of them, basically. So she's basically like a voodoo witch, I suppose, at this point.
Oh, okay, yeah. As you do.
Yeah, and she cried upon the dolls, which I think you've heard of that.
Yes.
Yes. And then after she cried upon them, they transferred their consciousness from their human bodies into the dolls themselves. And then, like a talking Spanish book about love was, trying to help them fix their marriage problems. So that happened. They're pretty gung ho about wanting to get a divorce. By the way, they keep on saying that during the whole entire thing. Just want to mention that. But yeah, and this Spanish book introduces them to a vacuum they mistreated, which they kill by sucking out its eyes.
That was brutal.
Yeah. And they also killed like a toolbox after they helped out a hammer get his wood back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a weird game. That being said, it was remarkably well done.
yeah. Like I would say gameplay wise, it's pretty interesting.
Yes, gameplay wise, visually, everything about it's very interesting and to a
Just,
decent extent well polished.
just oddly dark at times.
It does get weirdly dark.
Yeah. Which
Reminds
eh,
me of the old Tim Burton movies.
oh, I'm trying to think.
Caroline, is it? The one,
Caroline is one, and what's its name? Beetlejuice.
yeah,
That reminds
stuff
me of
like that.
Beetlejuice. Yeah.
So if you like that aesthetic and you don't believe in divorce,
I mean, we don't know how the end of the game goes.
yeah,
It might be a thing where it's like, hey, divorce is a normal thing that people can do, and
yeah,
then yeah, just because your mom and dad going through divorce doesn't mean it's the end of the world.
yeah. Look,
Two Christmases.
sometimes all people grow. Growth is part of life,
Yeah.
and sometimes that means growing apart.
This is the Spanish book is very heavily leaning on keeping their
Yeah, it's called
relationship
the Book
together.
of Love,
Yeah.
and
It's
this
Spanish and
book
has like weird eyebrows
does pelvic thrusts. I
all the time.
cannot like it is the most over sexualized book.
You think it's motion captured?
I don't think so. The
I kind of hope so.
I'm just trying to think of like how a person would squat to get that exact pose, and
And then do like the arms to the side and then like the
yeah,
pelvic
so the
thrust
person
forward.
would have to have like 3 foot long legs and a 5 foot long torso.
Yeah, which is a scary image now that you put it in my head. Thank you, Ted.
You're welcome.
All right.
Interesting enough, if we rolled on the right chart, we could have had that character this week.
Oh yeah. Also Spanish and talking about love.
We could have totally made that character.
¿Qué pasa, vacuum? Yeah. So we did that last night, which was pretty fun.
Yeah. Now, besides that, Kevin and I have actually both independently started our own campaigns.
That's actually very. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's completely new. Now, Kevin is running 3.5 set in not three. Dear God,
Uh.
5e D&D. I really want to play 3.5 now. I guess.
I know.
Um,
Not happening, but I know.
one day.
One day.
He's running 5e D&D
Mm-hmm.
in what it basically is. The setting is I can't believe it's not Fire Emblem.
Yeah, basically.
Which, given how Fire Emblem games are played, it's basically D&D anyways.
I mean, yes, I agree with that entirely. It's almost it's very close even to like the you can cast a spell a certain amount of times, and there's like a lot of similarities you could go with that.
Yeah, it's very easy to port one to the other.
Yes. So they're doing like a abridged version of that, I suppose, with different characters, but it's the same characters. And Ted is
How are they the same? Oh, you mean your NPCs are the same?
yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
I'm about to say, I don't know where my character goes along. I don't know what character could possibly be my character's parallel.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking probably the closest would be the deer house or the leader of like the gold. Is it yellow deer or golden deer?
Golden Deer.
Yeah, that
I
that
mean,
guy.
besides being, noble, which is literally half the characters.
Also an archer.
Yeah, and an archer, which is about a third the characters.
Yeah, and also kind of arrogant and a little bit like I don't know, a little hard to read. He's like a very cat-like man, I would
Yeah,
say.
so anyways, I am in fact playing a tabaxi, a cat folk.
Yep, he is.
His name is Lucifer Arcleon.
Yeah, and Justin was trying to remake his character. He was trying to think of like puns for him, right?
Yeah.
It's like a drow sorcerer, so I suggested Droward Stern.
That's awesome.
He decided not to keep that, but I'll be interested to see what he finally chooses today. So it should be interesting. But yeah, going through that, it's basically Fire Emblem, but those guys have not gotten to that point as of yet, which should be interesting for today.
No, Kevin basically has something similar to that I do, and it's session one is generally the same. Like if I'm running any 5e game, or really any D&D game, the first thing you're going to be doing is going to a small village and trying to do like a smuggling job or something, and then find out pirates took it.
Yeah, basically,
And
yeah.
that's just how I run things.
I think it was kind of funny going with like the goblins tearing up all your stuff there.
Okay, look, so here's ours. So Kevin is always something bad happens at a farm.
Yeah,
And there's normally a haunting or ghost or trouble, and it's always goblins.
yeah. Well, wait, just tell them like Santa Claus doesn't exist either, Ted. Jesus.
Yeah.
This time there might be something more though. There was that tentacle that came out of the water briefly.
Yeah. You know what? I couldn't fit it in, but I was just thinking of the Adventure Zone like lines like, "Hi, I'm Taco. I'm gonna tentacle your dick."
Oh yeah, he does that spell. Was it like Avardi? No, Avardi's.
Someone's black tentacles.
Mord. I was gonna say Mordecai's or something like Mordecai's black tentacles, but that sounds like Anyway, yeah, it's usually a farm, this time the goblins tore up all the stuff you needed
Yeah.
to
So
bring to the
I'm
school.
part of a merchant house, like think
Yes,
Venetian noble,
yes, that's very accurate. I would say.
and the family is doing great, but we don't do the whole primogenitor thing. And even if we did, I'm not the wildest, so it would.
Yeah,
So it's just okay. Who's going to be the best heir? And my character just took on a big risk for his own self to do this, long delivery and try to establish um, mercantile relations with this giant academy dash temple. Make a good impression, make a long term profitable client.
yeah,
And we fucked up. I left one of my lackeys in charge of watching out, and he's going to spend the rest of his life working off the debt, and as will his family.
yeah. I forget what his name was. It was God. Well,
Cat's it.
oh yeah, Cat Sid. That's it. Yes, and he always lands on his feet.
Mm-hmm.
All of them has like a certain specific cat quality to them, which I like.
Yeah,
But that's enough about my campaign. Let's talk about yours.
right. So I'm running in one of the best systems out there,
Fate
Accelerated.
accelerated.
which is the rules light version of Fate. See our Snow White episode for details on that.
Yeah, yeah, where we made some great characters in there.
Yes, and I decided that in this world, like, it kind of inspired by both the book series I was listening to at the time, the Percy Jackson books, and doing some research into how different polytheistic cultures viewed themselves.
Yes, yes.
That, like, there are all the gods, and just certain gods chose certain states or peoples and everything.
Right, to represent them in a certain. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so it's basically a Roman-ish Senate with the Roman-ish pantheon, though a lot simpler. There's just 4 of them.
Yes, very true.
And certain lines of people that have been blessed with magic. And then if those lines ever produce a child out of sacred wedlock, they make a Odio a bastard.
Yeah.
And their magic is always weird.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I mentioned I wasn't sure if I was perfectly clear on this. If 2 bastards get married and have a baby, their child is also a bastard.
Yeah.
And if they do it like for 3 generations, you get back to the pure line again.
Oh, you did not mention that.
Yeah, I mentioned that I could get back there eventually, but it's generation 1 is if you get magic, but it's against your nature.
Yeah.
Number 2 is your just random shit.
Ah, okay.
Generation 3, it's starting to stabilize. Then after that, it's like, oh shit, we're back to
We're
proper.
back to normal.
Now it almost never gets that far.
Ah. There's always some sort of mishap that happens, I'm guessing.
Well, think about this: if you're the, semi nobles with power, you're trying to get nobility and all that jazz.
Yeah.
You're taking a lot of risks and probably making a lot of bad decisions. And if your magic is like random or against your nature, you might not last that long.
That's true. That's very true. So it doesn't usually get that far. Yeah.
As a result, while 1% is the virtuoso, the properly blessed people, 4% of the population's in the bastard area.
Yes. So hard all the way around. So here we are.
Yeah. There's also a few other ways to get magic. Not many. Basically, it's enchanted items are being chosen by one of the gods, particularly one god, Nova, the Heavenly Hound.
Who just picks people at random?
We don't know why. The dog just likes people.
Ah, hey Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lets you see your past lives.
Oh yeah, that was Katie's. Yeah.
Yeah, that was part of something I wanted in there, and she decided that her character was also going to have amnesia,
Oh, so that okay, yeah,
so
no,
she only remembers her past
that
lives.
makes more sense now. Okay, yes. Um, mine is a bastard, uh, a Bustus Bloop, and his main thing is regenerative properties.
Yeah, he comes from a long, venerable line of healers.
Yep. And having just like a bastard son, I can regenerate my own body, but I'm also terribly squeamish.
Yeah, also, he can only regenerate his own body from wounds he caused.
Yeah. So I have to intentionally either jump on a sword or jump in front of something to intentionally regenerate from it.
Yeah. Which, don't get me wrong, it can be useful if you can, like, jump on a sword. That means, like, oh, I can lean into the attack. And if
Yeah.
I, it's a kind of a weird defense where it's like, okay, I
It's a
can
weird defense.
but, like, think about this. It's like, I can either try to dodge,
Yeah.
or I can let it stab me in the throat and, like, lean into it.
Yeah. And I can also curse people.
Yeah, I think that has to be, like, a result of the regeneration. Like, that's really, it's kind of, I never really thought of, like, learned magic, but I'm assuming that curse magic's kind of easy to do, but does require, like, hurting yourself.
Yeah, it requires like some sort of amount of like pain upon yourself to cause it to other people.
Yeah, and normally no one would do that, but
I
it
I
doesn't matter for you.
do you know like a red mage from Final Fantasy?
Yes.
So you know how like they take like an attack or something, and then they can cast that attack back.
That's blue mages.
Oh, sorry, blue mages. My bad. But blue mages can do that. So I like
Yeah.
to think like, oh, I got like like an ice cream headache once, so I can cause that on other people. Or I stubbed my toe once, so I can cause that on other people. Thing is, I'm squeamish, so I don't want to do anything that's really painful. So
Yeah.
it's like minor inconveniences.
Yeah, it's either, I like that. It's like,
Yeah.
you bite your tongue.
Yeah. Yes. Remember,
It's-
that's when I did that in fourth grade.
You only, okay, Kevin, this is completely off topic. How often do you bite your tongue?
Not really, like ever, really.
All right. Because I bite my tongue so much, I can't chew gum.
Oh, because like accidentally you bite your tongue when you're chewing gum.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's not that I do it all the time,
Right.
but if it happens once, I don't know if it just swells up a little bit or something,
Right.
but I end up biting it so many times in one day,
Uh.
I just try to avoid gum if all possible, which sucks. I love the shit.
Yeah. That really does suck. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah. So, anyways, going to that world, it's Fate, and part of Fate is it's more collaborative than the average game.
Right. So you take in a lot from other people as well, basically.
Yeah, so I let them design the world, and man, did it like one of the races they put in are these blind monkey people that can
Oh, yeah.
see the spirit world.
Yep. Are they blind in one eye or both eyes?
They only have one eye.
Oh yeah,
They're
so they're
cyclopy.
blind and okay, yeah, that's true. I remember like a single eye thing. I was thinking like, oh wait, do they just have one eye or are they just blind in
No,
one
they
eye?
only have one eye.
Yeah, like like yeah, they're cyclopses or whatever you said, cyclopy. Yeah,
Yeah, they're cyclopean
orangutans.
primates.
Yes. And the other race is
Crow people.
yeah, a murder of crow people.
Yes. Bandit crows.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We it was inspired by what's it? Game of Thrones, like the guys who live on the islands and just like raid.
Oh, we will not so, yeah.
Yeah.
The Greyjoys?
I don't think I think it's like
Yeah, Greyjoys. Yeah, that's the Greyjoys.
it's the Greyjoys. Yeah.
I think so.
But that's like the main family that rules
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So interesting enough, that is not where I really was getting any inspiration from.
Okay.
Going back to Fire Emblem, there is the GameCube ones where there are just people that turn to crows.
Oh yeah, I love those guys.
I was thinking of those guys.
One of those guys is like really strong. You have him at the
Yeah.
end game, and he just like kills everything. I love that guy.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed those Fire Emblem games.
He's almost better than the dragon people are.
Yeah, what were they, Lasgo or something?
It was something like that.
Those
yeah.
are like always my favorite units, which unfortunately by the rules of Fire Emblem they suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Particularly because half the time you can't initiate attacks.
Yeah, well,
Well,
that's
probably
the
closer to a third of the time, but still.
but still that's the big thing. That's a really big thing in Fire Emblem with that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Also, in that game, Fire Emblem always has class structures. In the later ones, once you get to level 20,
Yeah.
you class up, and
Yeah.
then you get to level 20 again. That's it.
Right.
They don't get to class up.
Yeah, that's also a big thing. So,
I always thought it'd be interesting that if they ever made another one of those games, when they class up to that, they get to choose whether or not to, in their next one, to focus on their human or animal side.
that would be really cool. I would
Yeah,
like that
so
a
like,
lot.
if you pick the animal side, you can kind of be a buffer, person that gives lasting minor enchantments to people,
Right.
and then when you change, those also affect you if you cast them by
Ah,
yourself.
yes,
And the
yes.
other one is, you pick the human side. It's like, yeah, but also I have a sword.
Yeah, so I'm going to use that. Uh,
It's like, yeah, I also know how to wear armor. I'm not a dumbass.
I would also like it if it went to like a specific type of bird, maybe. Like you could go from like a crow to like a phoenix.
Well, those are different species, though.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
maybe if they got like special items or made a story thing.
Yeah, so where you could just like eat like a more legendary type
Yeah,
of
it's like,
bird.
fuck you, I'm a thunderbird.
Yeah, yeah. I'm Zapdos. Yes. Zapdos. So that
Yeah.
that should be really fun to keep on playing Fate, which I'm excited to keep
Yeah.
on playing that.
Now, actually,
I guess
yeah, Kevin's character does an interesting voice.
yeah.
Um,
We always do interesting voices, man.
yeah. Actually, unfortunately, due to Kevin's squeamishness and the compels he had to leave the room while I gave a prophecy about the next few sessions.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I thought both of them were on their phones to take notes.
No, they're just on their phones.
Yeah, so they could only recite one line back to me. It's like, I know it involves the monsoon and death.
So Ted, you know what's interesting about that
What?
is I was the only one who brought like a notebook and paper.
Yes, and you had to leave the room for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Also the one who I'm usually the only one that takes notes as well. If we're talking about like our D&D sessions or anything like with Justin or Adam or anything
Yeah,
like that.
it depended on my character. Niren took,
Yeah.
like, the first character played took notes.
Yeah.
And so did the professor.
Right. No,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Honk E Tonk, I'm not sure if he's literate, let alone
Could take
right.
notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
Yeah. Spicy Buffalo definitely was not taking notes.
I forget which one's my favorite so far from your list of character names. Honky Tonk is pretty high up there. I do love Spicy Buffalo. It's kind of tough to kind of gauge where I'm at with those
Really
right now.
depends on your mood.
Yeah, it depends on the mood. Like if
Yeah.
I'm feeling for Spicy Buffalo, and his literal like ghost buffalo ancestors would inspire him to be a better fighter.
Okay, look, so he is an ancestral guardian, or was an ancestral guardian.
He's also like
Barbarian?
he was also a Goliath.
A
Right.
Goliath. But the best description Ben ever gave as a DM
Yeah.
is when his ancestral guardians come out, because they're just spectral buffalo, but they're just running all over the place. And he described them as leaping in and out of the land like dolphins swimming.
Yeah, that was the best. That was the best thing Ben has ever done.
Yeah, he was.
Other than like food magic.
Food magic was great, but he did it as a spur of the moment thing. I intentionally did not tell him my character's name.
Ah, very good. Very
So I
good.
could see his face when I said, "I am Spicy of the Buffalo Tribe."
I missed that campaign. That was
Yeah.
fun.
I actually did not like playing that character.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hated it.
Oh, okay.
Well, for one thing, Ben made it very clear very early on the enemies could figure it out very quickly how the buffalo worked. So like that neutered his power immediately.
Oh, yeah, it makes that tough. Yeah.
Also, it turns out just don't like playing a barbarian.
Uh, I get that. I kind of get that. To me, playing like I was like that fighter Tortle.
Yeah.
It can get a little boring after a while because mainly I'm just like in there first off, and then I have to take as many hits as humanly possible while Justin sits in the back and shoots with arrows.
Yeah, no, I just did not enjoy it that much.
Yeah, wasn't great.
Yeah, I unfortunately Hiram Klaus, my favorite character, I think I've played.
Oh yeah, he died like immediately.
Yeah,
or
he died in 2 hits.
yeah, from that giant was that giant demon thing or
No, it was like angel thing. It was like a Deva or something.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
But he just got crit twice, and it was one of those things where he was dropped. He was pretty. He was only like half. He was at half health. It was reduced to 0.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, I already used all my lucky rolls that day.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
And
There was a lot of things happening that day.
then he got crit while down, and it did more than his entire HP worth of damage in one blow.
Here's the thing about Ben, and this is something we could all like kind of attest to a little bit. Like I'm sure Adam and Justin would say the same thing, but sporadically very lucky rolls for him, and sporadically very unlucky rolls for him.
Yeah, no, that's
At the worst times. Like
yeah. He has a keen ability to just at the end of a session, I can say I rolled pretty good or bad that day.
yeah,
If Ben rolls pretty good that day, he rolled very good that day.
yeah.
If he rolled like shit that day, he
rolled
rolled like
crap
shit.
that
Like
day,
there is
yeah.
no in between.
No, there's no like there's no like average. It's always like one extreme to the other. There's no like middle ground with him. No.
It's kind of like how in 5e particularly, my characters always seem to roll amazing on stats and roll shit on gameplay.
So what's fun about that too is it's I forget if you're the one. I believe you were the one who accidentally killed the horse.
Yep.
Yeah. So the goblins stole Ted's gear and everything the game I'm running in, and they stole his carriage, and they ransacked the whole thing. Horse was still alive, which was thankful that they didn't just like eat it. But Ted accidentally rolled like a 1 on his.
And Kevin had me shoot the horse.
Yes.
And
you rolled damage, but you killed the horse.
Yeah, well, I insisted on rolling damage for it.
Yeah.
And it still just killed it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah. I would have.
So like the cherry on top.
I would have titled that episode "Lucifer Arcalone's
really, really bad day.
No good, really bad day.
Yeah, and then to put salt in the wound, the boss got away.
Yeah.
Yeah. After Justin threw like 28 javelins at it and missed every time.
That was impressive amounts of missing on both our accounts.
Yeah.
All right, so less about RPG campaigns.
Yes.
More about what we've done the week. And we've already talked about a decent amount of this, but Kevin, I just today read an RPG book.
Ah.
And I absolutely love it.
Nice, okay.
Because, look, when you're learning an RPG, it's a hassle.
Right.
Like, it takes a lot of brain power.
Yeah.
A friend of mine has literally asked me to come over and, help him understand the Expanse RPG.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah. Because it is just a pain. But because of that, sometimes they'll make, like, rules light or different ideas for it.
Right.
Shadowrun's a great example of this. They made a edition of it or sub-edition that's just the rules light version called Anarchy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which rules light for Shadowrun is still pretty high on the rules, but way less
than actual real Shadowrun.
Yeah, it's about 5e in complexity.
That's I can deal with that.
Yeah, but for a rules light game, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I know. That's like saying like, oh, it's Fate Accelerated, but it's it's 5e. That's not light.
Yeah. Someone called like a rules like medium version.
That's like like when you have like a steak, it's like well done or medium rare. I'd say like that's a medium rare kind of version right there. Like if you were to compare those two.
Yeah. So last year, Fate came out with a medium rare.
Oh, so like a medium rare's of Fate. Okay.
Yeah. So if we have the well done, that is the 300 pages Fate book.
Yes.
And the blue.
Yeah.
Fate Accelerated.
Yeah.
There is the medium rare that is Fate Condensed.
Okay.
Which I just found out existed yesterday as I was browsing that Z.
Nice.
Bought and read all 60 pages of this morning.
It's truly condensed. Okay, I like that.
15 pages of that are optional rules.
Wow, alright. Okay, I can dig it.
And, well, like, it even mentions whenever it changes something from Fate, because it was just kind of like okay, we wrote this really poorly.
Oh, so kind of like a
so like a
more
lot
detailed.
of it is just a condensed version of that.
Yeah.
And because of that, way more understandable. If they do change a few things, they mention it. Like how they do initiative is different. They use the sort of the popcorn system that a lot of people use these days.
Oh, okay.
So basically, you pick out what side goes first,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
and generally the DM picks that,
Right.
and then the people on one side pick who goes first, and they pick which person goes next. It could be an ally or the enemy.
Oh, that's smart. All right, I like that.
Yeah, so that's their. They changed how their uh, hit points. They call it stress system works a little bit to make it friendlier,
Right, right,
but most of it's the same.
right.
So
Okay.
it's just kind of they took out all the difficulty of reading the book and entry.
So, so medium rare, as you
Medium
said.
rare.
Yeah.
It's way easier to start.
Yeah. Okay, I get
And
that.
I read all of it this morning, and there's one aspect of it I love, and I
Ah.
don't know if this is in Fate Core because I tried getting through Fate Core a couple times and it sucked.
Ah. Okay. So not doing that
So
again.
in Fate, it's all based on aspects,
Right.
and in Fate Core, and to my knowledge, in Fate Accelerated, there are two special aspects:
Okay.
high concept,
Yeah.
which is if you're summing up your character in the opening pitch, Lucifer Arcleon is noble catfolk archer.
Yeah.
That is what he is.
Yes.
And there's a trouble. In his case, it seems to either be incredibly bad luck or, if I get to roleplay him as I want to, randomly loves and hates people. I literally have rolled the
I
die for every NPC to see if I like them.
so interesting thing about that too is that you have siblings, and that also kind of works with the siblings as well,
Yes.
who both love you a lot. You
They
just hate your
both love
brother.
me. I hate one of them.
Yeah.
I would, though. But it happens
in like a heartbeat.
So, no, I wouldn't be in a heartbeat because it's really well made and waited for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, if I got an upgrade, I would not have sentimental attachment to this one.
Right, be like, okay, yeah, this is better.
But it'd be really, even if it's not mechanical,
Yeah.
another rapier would not be as good in his hands.
Yeah. Right, right.
So he's going to use it until he gets a magic one.
Yeah, okay.
If he gets a magic one, he will ditch it with, it's like, oh, I'll give it to my concubine. Here you go, defend yourself. Oh, man, then he could save face at family gatherings, too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because like, yeah, my concubine's
Oh, no,
my infertile concubine is wielding it.
Yeah, fun fact, he is just Duke Leto from Dune.
Basically, yeah.
Like, even the entourage is way too close.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was not intentional.
No, but it just works out.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
It's like, oh, my beloved carries the sword to defend herself.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I keep my precious things together.
Yeah, yeah. And good. That's a as per usual good line.
Yeah, so that's that. But the third type of aspect they have, besides the general ones, which everyone has, the special one that you have to pick one, either in the beginning or in the first couple sessions as the character grows.
Yeah.
Is one of your aspects is a relationship you have to another player character.
Oh, that's smart. I like that a lot. That makes things a lot more interesting and a lot more coherent.
Yeah, so like when I started, part of the originals before we start character creation is asking how all of you know each other. And what, I make sure, like, no, you are all important. As a team. What was it you had to pick? And this one, it's like, oh, no, it is part of the character, and if it's an aspect, it's true.
Yeah.
So, if it says, I owe my life to X, you owe your life to them. If you are, have shed blood with my comrade in arms.
Right. Then yeah.
And that also means you can invoke that aspect for in-game advantages.
Which is awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's also a plus with like the
also, you can invoke any aspect as a weakness.
Right.
There's just one designated one that's always weakness.
Yeah, yeah.
But adding the relationship aspect really makes a double-edged sword there.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Kevin, have you done anything else this week?
Yes. My biggest thing was that I've been getting into a few more different like animes in general. Like, is it wrong to pick up a girl in a dungeon?
I have actually watched the first season of that.
Yeah, and I think you said surprisingly not bad.
Way better than I expected.
Yeah, so the thing with like that anime is that there's a lot of I don't know how to describe it. It's
Fan service.
well, yeah, there's a lot of fan service, and there's a lot of like male protagonist lead has a harem for whatever reason.
Yes.
So, what I don't know what your stance on that is,
Look,
but
it's an anime trope. I expect it.
yeah, I mean,
I look. I've gotten to the point where I think of harem as like, adding a horror aspect to a sci-fi thing.
oh,
It's like,
okay,
well, are they going to add some, are they going to add some romance aspects, some harem aspects, some sci-fi aspects,
right,
some
okay,
mystery?
yeah.
It's just one of those subcategories.
It's one of those extra ingredients that goes along with
Yeah,
like
it
whatever
just
you're making.
happens in anime.
Yeah, my thing is I'm not a huge fan of that. I'd rather have it just be like I don't know, like two relationships or something like that, like a love triangle.
Yeah.
Love triangle's classic.
Yeah. You know what? This is the only good thing I have to say about this anime. So,
Okay.
not Girls in Dungeon. Sword Art Online
Yeah, go on.
is pretty bad,
Yeah.
but the one thing I can respect about it is the main relationship starts early and it doesn't fucking drag you along forever with it. It's like, oh no, they get together
Yeah.
very quickly,
They established that pretty well.
and that becomes a plot element.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yes, does every girl like him for no apparent reason? Yes, because it's a power fulfillment anime for teenage boys.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, here you are.
duh, of course. But still, like their relationship together is a driving aspect.
Right. Part of the story and keep on
Y-
going with it.
Yeah, so if we're going to have a relationship issue, make it a relationship.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Um.
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel I used to watch all the time called Extra Credits,
You're right. Right.
and they bring up this in a episode about relationships. It's all about everything has been about starting one in the agency and hearing them say yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very rarely do you get one about maintaining a relationship or developing. I can only think of like one game where that's a central element.
Hmm. Okay.
Catherine.
Oh, yeah. That's actually, and we talked about that last night. Yeah.
Yeah. The box set was next to my head.
Yeah. So that helps. Yes.
Yeah. Interesting enough, when I was playing that game, like 6 months later, I was in a situation where I'm like, "Fuck, I'm in Catherine."
You know what's interesting too is the I want to say like remake of it adds in like that third woman.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, adds in like a third woman that is a trans person.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. By the way, to anyone who's played Catherine and go, Ted, if you're the guy in the middle of Catherine,
Have you wet your bed?
no, I was losing on that. I was going, you are by definition an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have a defense to that. I realized that very early on when I thought this, like, God, I'm an asshole. And the answer to that was like, yes, but I tried to grow past that.
Right. Try to try. Yeah, my youthful days.
That was nearly a decade ago, in my defense.
Youthful days, like I said. Yeah, I guess it counts as youthful days at this
No,
point.
no, it wasn't that. I was trying to figure out the exact time.
Oh, okay,
It's like
gotcha.
9 years?
Wow. Wow, that makes me feel old, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew you for that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god. Oh Jesus Christ. This is you know what, this is getting a little depressing. So
All right, let's talk about food and then the game.
yeah, but before we do that, we have been talking about food just a little bit here. So Ted, I made you something. I call it a Mexican lemonade.
Yes, I don't know if that's the official name. It was tequila, lemonade, and then
Lemonade
mix,
cocktail mix, yeah.
which I don't know what that is.
Me either. I just bought it off the shelf, so
Yeah.
I thought like lemonade. Yeah.
It was very good. The tequila we had was the ones aged in bourbon barrels, and it showed.
You had the tequila Asian bourbon.
Oh, that's right.
You had the añejo.
Yes, and
And-
you had the spicy one that went down the wrong pipe.
Yeah. It just sounds like the beginning of like a weird sitcom. So yes, I did have the spicy version, which I liked.
And on Friday, a new episode of Down the Wrong Pipe on Fox.
On Fox.
Right
Right after
after-
Family Guy.
I was gonna say The Simpsons, but yeah.
Yeah, that works too. So yeah, and pretty good. I'd say like I like the Mexican lemonade. We're about to have a different flavor of Mexican lemonade because we had the original.
And now we're gonna have strawberry lemonade.
Yeah, and see how that affects the taste. But we'll be right back.
Oh, we're doing that right now.
We're doing that right now because I want to drink.
Okay.
So we're back.
Oh, you've been recording?
Yeah. I'll cut out all the straw talk, but like
you don't have to if you don't want to. I just don't know how off topic that would be.
um,
Um,
it's pretty on there. But Ted, how do you like your pink lemonade?
Love it. This is clearly the superior way to drink this.
Yeah, pink lemonade. Pink Mexican lemonade
Yeah. All right. So
or Mexican pink lemonade.
Mexican pink lemonade sounds more interesting,
Yeah.
but less like easy to say.
Yeah, or instead of like pink Mexican
Yeah.
lemonade.
Someone told me once that there is a unwritten linguistic rule in English on like what adjectives have to come first for it to flow naturally.
Right, right.
But I never they told me there was a thing.
And then you never remember that thing.
No, they never told me.
Oh.
They told me they watched the video or some lecture or something on it. But then it's like, oh, cool. But they didn't have the video or lecture or anything, so I just never got to look this up. I don't even know what to search for that. Adjective order, I guess.
Yeah, how to make a sentence flow with an adjective. Like, I don't know how you would look that up.
Yeah.
Nice ball.
Yeah, it's Jerry's.
Yeah. I could tell. I could tell it's Jerry's because he's looking very intently at it.
Jerry basically put a ball in my hand, and it's one of those plastic ones for dogs with those weird plasticky
teeth on it, or
I was about to say
thorns.
Anti-tridecophobia.
Oh God, yeah. Like instead of like holes, it's like points
coming out.
Yeah. You know there. Have you ever seen like Junji Ito stuff?
No, I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay. So Junji Ito is a Japanese horror manga artist.
Yeah, but I already. Okay.
Okay.
I don't want to know.
Okay.
Tell the people anyways, I guess.
All right. So he came up with like several different things. One is like the spiral, and it's this woman with like a spiral in her eye, right? And just like a whole town. You might even have seen this artwork before. It's like really popular, but he just like comes up with these really creepy images. And one of them was I seen on the TV series, which is on Crunchyroll, where there's a you know like those kind of like fried pork kind of stands in Japan that they have. Yeah. So there's like this kid there that is just like drinking all the grease from like the fried pork there. It's just like a really weird story.
Okay.
And then what he does to his sister is like he squeezes his face because he's got like a bunch of pimples on there and squeezes all of like the pus and everything onto his sister.
Ew.
Yeah. And eventually like the dad cooks the brother into like the meat, and he tries to fatten up his sister to do the same thing so they can have a pot, like, you know, a good selling business.
Okay, that got weird.
Yep.
Yeah. On that note, I actually, so I'm not going to give names because I don't want this person to be embarrassed on the internet.
Okay.
But a coworker, I won't say current or former, just to make this as ambiguous as possible.
Yeah.
Confided in me that one of their favorite treats for themselves when they were younger and even occasionally today is when they go to KFC, they always just get an extra thing of gravy.
And they just drink it?
Yes.
And
I was like, you know, if you told me you cooked a potato and cut it up in that and made a thick stew,
yeah, that would be better.
It wouldn't be weird.
Yeah, that would be a lot better. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, that is almost acceptable. You told me
let me see. I think I don't know if we froze for a second there too. Let me double check something. And stop. No, we're good.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I mean that would be better if like he had the gravy as a just like an extra thing of gravy, just like added something to it and not just ate the gravy by itself.
No, I really like gravy, so I put 2 doses on my potatoes. Dose is not the right word either. I need 20 cc's of gravy stat.
Right away, doctor. Right away. Oh, this man is about to die if we don't get that gravy right into his system.
All right, you know what? I think we need to go to the game now because I need to change the subject somehow.
Yeah, somehow. All right, fair enough.
So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
in space
in the year 3000.
All right. So, anyways,
or 2021. When does this take place?
That beats the hell out of me. It depends on which version, and even then, it's ambiguous.
Yes. Okay.
So, we played Mutants in Orbit.
Yes, spin around in their little spaceships or big base spaceships.
Now,
really.
This is part 3 of the Palladium side of our part 6 series.
Yes, and this will be the final.
For now.
For now, until we watch turtles coming out of their shells.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's the thing we talked about a lot actually. And well, we'll get back to that, or the Michael Bay turtles, depending. But that's something we might come back to in the future. Who knows?
Yeah, so I had two options for which way to go with this, and I decided that if we just did the Arthurian version, it'd be
Um,
far too boring.
Mutants in Avalon, I think it's
Yes,
called. Yeah,
it'd be way too boring.
yeah. Okay, fair enough.
So,
Space.
yes, now this is where Palladium is Palladium.
Yes. Well, yes.
So, all Palladium games are part of the Megaverse.
Ooh, not the miniverse,
Or the multiverse.
but the megaverse.
Exactly.
Okay.
Their old podcast in like 2009 was Gateway to the Megaverse.
That's a good title for it. Yeah.
Yeah. And part of that is, with just a few exceptions,
Mm.
all Palladium games are compatible with all other Palladium games.
Yes. Yes. That's always a big thing to talk about.
Yeah. So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was originally meant to kind of be not a supplement, but a companion to their superhero RPG, Heroes Unlimited.
Yes.
And the problem with that is Palladium has had one really successful title,
And was
and
that
that was not Heroes Unlimited.
no?
It's a game called Rifts,
Yes.
which we're not going to get into too much about because eventually Kevin's going to watch or make me watch a movie that is pretty close to Rifts, and he is going to, like, Kevin knows a decent amount of Rifts already, but he's going to be exposed to so much more than he expects.
Yeah.
He's going to learn about DBs and Tolkien and Badhaven and the Zayatic and the Gargoyle Empire of Germany and the Great Trees and the Dark Great Tree and the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse and the hell that is China, literally.
But Ted,
And
that is for a later date.
Yeah, and Atlantis.
Oh, nice. They have China. I was going to say Chinese hell, and then they also have Atlantis.
Yeah,
and,
those are two. You can go to both of those.
and the Gargoyle German Empire.
Yeah, not to confuse with the other parts of Germany.
Wait, so it's a specific part of Germany that is the Gargoyle.
Yeah, the gargoyles are the enemy of, I don't remember their name, but there's this German nation that makes a bunch of. They're the only like good human nation that makes power armor and rejects magic.
Oh, okay. Instead of all the other evil
Yeah,
ones.
they're also like the government and this megacorp are basically inseparable.
Oh, okay. Right. So how's that work? Okay.
Senators and chancellors are often board members.
Oh, okay. So
But when there's only like one corporation and one government, it doesn't really make that much difference.
no, you could just have it. Yeah, you should just have one or the other, really. But whatever, that's fine.
Yeah, it's weird, and I mean that's not even getting into the weirdness of the cyborgs of Russia or the Soviet Union. That y'all is still, in fact, the center of an independence movement.
Oh wow. Hey, good for them.
Or the dinosaur swamps of Florida.
You know what? I like that.
Yeah, so that's all in the future. But Rifts obviously needed a spin-off with After the Bomb to give After the Bomb
Obviously.
some reason to be bought.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is interesting because there's really three phases of Palladium rules.
Yeah.
Old Palladium, Mid Palladium, and New Palladium.
Yeah.
As a general rule, the newer ones are way easier to play.
Then the older ones, yes.
Yeah, the older ones basically just like group skills into packages, and they never quite work.
Yeah.
And they get more and more freeform as it goes on to stats being not freeform, but like come in nice templates.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying.
And you get special abilities and all that. Newer ones are way more fun.
Yeah. Okay.
So this gives all the rules in both the old and mid-era of Palladium rules, and then changes the setting based on what RPG you're playing, because if you're playing after the bomb, the apocalypse takes place in like 2000, maybe 2020. And if you're playing Rifts, it takes place, I want to say, 2270.
Makes complete sense. Okay. And
That's what we.
this all connects to the same universe.
Yeah,
Oh.
there's just two parallel, very similar. So basically, Rift's Earth is Earth 1. We'll put 1 after that.
Okay, Earth 1.
And that's the gateway. That has all the rifts that connect to most of the other places. It just happens to be one of the most dense nexus and ley line places in the Megaverse.
Okay.
I don't think the most dense, but it's in the top 10.
Right, it's up there.
After the bomb Earth,
Yeah.
is like probably in the hundreds.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna get a little bit of a headache here. All right. Still talking about bits to bucks.
That's man. Those are such simpler times comparatively.
Yes, I would say so. But okay, I kind of think I'm getting it.
Yeah.
I hope the audience is getting it.
Yeah. So when they go through, they'll give, for example, the different space stations. Now there are 4 major space stations,
Right.
plus the moon.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. The moon.
That are settled by the ancestors of different nations and everything. And apparently that's also where a lot of the early genetic experiments were done.
Right.
Because the mutant animal population is comparatively high, despite like humans not having a mass die-off.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. But at the same time, too, in after the bomb, you had that giant nation of humans where it was like 20,000, and then the animal slaves that were in it were like 400,000.
Yes, and then they have the vassal city of dogs.
Yeah,
with
which
an almost equal number of slaves.
Yeah, so whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, that's fine. Nothing has to make sense, Ted.
It's Palladium. Nothing
has to make sense. Yeah, the points don't matter. Yeah.
Basically. So there's a few different space stations. The main one, and obviously the hub for anyone that wants to be there, is of course Freedom Station.
So, aka the best station, aka America.
America. Now, speaking of America and its successor states,
yeah.
I have this good friend in Belgium named Rose. Me and her very, very close friends. I wish I could see her again. Hello, Rose, if you're listening.
Yeah.
And I often talked about the glory that is Dunkin' Donuts, even those days.
Ah, yes.
There's a new store in Leuven, Belgium, that sells Dunkin' Donuts donuts.
Really? Wow.
And she sent a picture and ate them and explained to me, oh my god, I've never had anything this good. I now understand why you talked about this so much.
That's great. I love that. I love that.
Also, a friend of mine from Australia keeps sending me anti-Starbucks TikToks.
Oh, God, that's great.
The empire is growing.
We should put on some of the YouTube videos. That'd be great.
They're hilarious. It's like, talking about, like, you know, if you're a Queenslander going into a Starbucks, not Starbucks, Starbucks, you'd be like, and then just cuss to a different guy. It's like, no self-respecting Queenslander would ever go into a Starbucks.
Well, I mean, they have to deal with those giant ravines there in the middle of like their whole entire country. So
I mean, at least those are being converted to canals.
Yeah, at least. So I mean, there's a lot of problems in Australia. Not just Starbucks there, but
no, but at least irrigation isn't one of them anymore.
I know, right? Finally,
not Starbucks. Australia, land of canals.
Land of canals, as we all know it now.
Not in the past, but
nowadays it's known as
everywhere.
Yeah, canals up the yin yang.
Yeah, you don't drive to work. You get in your boat.
Yeah, your gondola.
Yeah,
and you go down to your.
It's
street.
like Venice or Tenochtitlan, which I guess probably the latter, closer to like, you know, from this a rainfall heat perspective.
Yes, closer in that way.
Though to my knowledge, lack of human sacrifices,
which is nice.
Yeah,
I prefer that.
unfortunately, neither of those nations, either the old Tenochtitlan Tri-State Confederacy or Australia, has a space station. We have the
No.
trade-loving Freedom Station, which basically no other nation likes, but all the mini like space stations and free traders love.
Yeah, for obvious reasons.
Yes. Then there is the European Union space station called the Euro Station, spelled YURO.
So you know how I knew this was made by an American man because they spelled it like that.
Yeah.
That's great. And every one of those subsections within that space station are just I would say stereotypes.
Yeah, they are as stereotypical as you get. The English part is now a hereditary monarchy, while you do have like the Denmark and Norwegian socialist republics.
Well, of course, and the English one, which is hereditary now.
Yes, it's a hereditary monarchy run by Prince Philip.
Yeah, obviously. Um, if you didn't know that, you're just stupid. So obviously that's the case.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it is pretty weird.
And each of those sections in the After the Bomb version
hmm,
are about 1,500 people.
okay,
Each of the sections of the Euro one.
right.
In the Rifts
Rift's version.
they're all 6,000. The For the major space stations, if you go to the Rifts one, all
Yeah.
the population numbers are quadrupled.
Wow. Wow. All right.
So here's the problem. In After the Bomb, besides genetics, tech is at 80s level. It's just the 80s, except they were really good at genetics.
So you still have like CRT TVs and
Yes.
like yeah, that's great. All right.
Which means space travel is like painful and inefficient.
Yeah. But the genetics are great.
Yeah, the genetics are great.
So there's that.
Yeah, while Rifts, was in like a proper, like an extra couple hundred years of development.
So the genetics are there as well, just
Yeah,
not
just-
as specialized.
It's like, oh, cool, you're a geneticist. That's cool. I'm an astrophysicist.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's like it's just one of the very, very many areas of science they've mastered.
Over time, yeah.
Yeah, like metallurgy was something big. They made concrete that basically didn't erode.
Oh, okay.
Their
Yeah.
asphalt lasted 100 years and was like could be used as armor in wars.
Which is cool. Yeah, I like that.
Stuff like that. Like they had some cool things. They basically solved aging.
What was the from Star Trek, the see-through aluminum?
Yes.
Yes. What's that called? It's
Beats the shit out of me.
yeah.
Also, I think it's titanium.
Is it titanium? I forget.
Either way, they have see-through metal. I'm sure they have that in Rifts as well.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Photon torpedoes, I'm sure.
Nothing I can think of, but I don't. When I was into Rifts, I didn't
Yeah.
really care about the three galaxies.
Kind of space stuff, I guess.
Yeah, well, man, that's where it's like the power level gets super, super high. And when you're dealing with those sorts of things,
Is it like DBZ bad?
no, Goku would probably just get shot and killed.
Like immediately?
Like no, he'd probably get along fine there, but like Goku's just a dude when he gets to that level.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, he would fit in with the party.
Right.
Anyways, we have
Oh
this,
wow. Okay.
Anyways, we have this wolf guy that phases through matter over here. This guy who's part god, and we don't know what this last guy is.
Yeah. He's from parts unknown.
Yeah, when you get to the really high level multiverse stuff,
Yeah.
you're either just some dude in a weird setting,
Right.
or if you're actually interacting with stuff,
Thanos.
the power level is ridiculous.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
There is sort of a Thanos-y type figure, but not in the. He doesn't have the drive of Thanos. He just kind of like looks like him.
Oh, it just looks like him, and it's just like less
Last
enthused.
of a race.
Has
like the super spaceship goes around.
So basically Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like without any ideology or goal.
Oh, so just a bad Thanos.
Yeah. Let's be like, I don't know. He kind of finds it funny when tiny women have to dance for him naked.
All right. That's a more interesting characteristic, I suppose, than nothing.
Yeah, he looks like Thanos, but is generally like 30 feet tall.
Oh wow. So yeah,
Or
okay.
like Thanos in like half the comics.
Okay, I see. Yeah,
Yeah, Thanos is a race called a Titan, after all.
yeah. So he would be big.
Now, going back to the much more boring area of After the Bomb, I have to stop talking about the Rift stuff. Um, because that gets more interesting. No, we're not doing that. Kevin made me watch a bad Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie.
Yes.
Uh,
So you talked about the freedom loving trade
yes,
station.
the infighting Europeans.
Yep, and then
there is
next.
Latka, Russia, which is just a manufacturing hub.
Yep. It's a Russian
Yeah,
manufacturing hub.
they don't do trade. They just do like ship making and large industry, and that's about it.
Yep. Hey, come down to Russia. We make you car, and we also make spaceship.
And then of course there is the, what are they called, nihilist metas of Outcast Station, which was the Japanese station,
But
or was it? Sorry, no, that was it's the Shino Japanese station. I think
there was two Japanese stations.
One's the Japanese, one's the Shino Japanese station. I forget which one got nuked.
Yeah, but one of them got nuked.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to assume I'm pretty sure that it's the one that's alive is the Sino Japanese one. So only the Japanese got nuked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was made in the 80s. Just a reminder. That was a less moral time.
I mean, I historically inspired.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, sure. All right.
But the nihilist metas of Outcast Station is basically just a bunch of people that are shitty.
Yep.
And live shitty lives and can barely sustain themselves.
And ironically, where one of your characters comes from.
Yeah. And then there's the moon, which is the most developed, but they are very protective of their moon sovereignty.
So isolationist.
Yes. You guys can mine this 10% of the moon on the dark side, and that's it.
Yeah. Keep away from the rest of our good moon.
Exactly.
Yeah. You better get the hell
Once
off
again,
our
the
moon.
Rifts.
We don't like your type around here.
Pretty much. Interesting enough, the Rifts has like this cool, like, technology and everything they have, but no, we don't get that. Now the interesting thing about the moon people is they
Moonanites.
they suck, and I do mean like physically.
Oh yeah, like because they can't make their own gravity.
Yeah, so the space stations all rotate.
Yep.
They were very clearly made from a early on time to rotate to make artificial near Earth gravity.
Right.
Which you need.
Yeah, in order to be like healthy and good.
Yeah. The moon doesn't have that.
No.
So like they can barely survive being another space station for brief periods of time.
Which is sad.
No, and if they ever went down to Earth, which by the way is possible in this game, not the Rift version, but in this one it's possible.
So if they can go down back to like Earth, then
good luck getting back up.
Oh, that's a fair point. Okay, I see what you're saying. It's like a one-way trip, basically.
It's a one-way trip.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah, the Rift version actually, they can kind of see what's happening on Earth.
Yeah, and they're like,
they set up defense grids. There's like a nuclear missile and laser grids. If anything comes up, they blast it.
Wow. Okay.
No, they contain that shit.
Oh wow.
And you know what? Smart.
So you know what that reminds me of is that South Park episode where they discover I think Randy discovers like intergalactic travel.
Yep.
Yep, and then like all the other space aliens come and try and like go to their planet, and he's lying about how he came up with it, obviously. And they nuke one of the other countries that was trying like to be honest about it, and then at the end of the episode, they just like set up a defensive grip all around Earth, so nope, they can't interact with anybody.
Yeah, in Stellaris you can do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when at the end game sort of tech is these massive Death Star things called Juggernauts, and you can pick the weapon for them. One is the Cracker, where you just break open the planet.
Yeah, like Dead Space-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. One sends a layer of radiation that kills all organic life.
Nice. Okay.
Good if you're a machine empire.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
If you're playing Borgs, you can put them with nanites. If you're playing a religious empire, There's actually one to kind of put visions of the divine and destroy all the inorganic soulless machines
Oh wow.
and
Okay.
convert them all to the religious ideology.
Nice.
And then, of course, there's the global pacifier, which puts them in a giant force field,
Hmm. Okay.
and they'll never be able to break out from it.
Kind of like the global pacifier the most. There, it seems like the least evil.
I very much enjoy in wars
Yeah.
global pacifying a world and then giving it back to the empire I took it from as a reminder.
Yes. Oh, that's good. I like that. I like that a lot. That's
Yeah.
good.
Has that happened to Earth already? Probably, because I wouldn't want to hang out with humans either.
Oh, that's negative, Ted.
Yeah, I know. We made dogs, and frankly, that's the height of our civilization.
I would say so. Also, if Shrekanites are here, then obviously that can't be true.
Unless they put it around the solar system.
Oh, that'd be smart. I wouldn't want to hang out with Shrekanites.
Right? It's like, oh, God.
It's like that one bad apple in class that just makes your whole class kind of go down a little bit. Yeah, the Shrekanites just ruined it for all of us. The whole universe is just sealed.
Yeah. The soul system. No, it's a no-go zone.
Yeah, sorry, there's Shrekanites there.
They made a hyperlane highway to it and then went, nope.
Oh, that reminds me. What's that movie where they destroy Earth to make like a highway?
That would be Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and the
Yes.
movie is awful. The book series is amazing.
The book is series is great. Yeah. What's that thing about God? So there's like a sign or something they put up like sorry God was here but he left or something like that. I forget.
That's a movie only thing.
I thought that was like the book too. I wasn't sure.
No, they talk about God a few times, but it's always sort of he's probably not real.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Now there is a few interesting rules of the galaxy where if the ultimate question and the answer are ever known by the same people
Yeah.
at the same time, the universe is destroyed and replaced by something even sillier.
Oh yes, I remember that. Okay.
Which theorized that it's happened several times before, and that's how we're stuck in this mess.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. I would dig that. Man.
The Babelfish God thing.
Yes, that was what I was talking about there. Yes.
Because it is used as a kind of the final argument against God, because the Babelfish they thought could not possibly have been formed by natural selection.
Yeah.
So must have been designed by God.
Yeah.
But that's a clear giveaway that there's a God, and God was trying to say, no, I need faith. That's not a clear giveaway, because God needs faith.
Yeah.
However, because it's such an obvious giveaway that there's a God, there is no longer any faith, and God disappears in a puff of logic.
Yes. Okay, that was the thing. Yes, I remember that now. Okay. That I do love that book series. It's
so good.
It's really good. Speaking of that, I still believe in God, but it's a different thing for a different thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
So my Jewish friend.
Yeah.
You're close. Just gotta get that moil.
Moil. He'll suck blood from my dick.
Moil.
No.
Won't make it a nice fit.
God, I've never been happy to be circumcised before.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're not Jewish or Muslim and you had your kid circumcised, fuck you.
Yeah. Well, there you are. Okay.
That's it.
All we have to say on that. Back to
after the
whatever.
bomb,
Yeah, after the bomb. Yeah.
So the last real area. Well, I guess there's two more areas we got to talk about.
Yeah.
The first is, of course, Mars.
Oh yeah, Mars, where all of the problems lie.
Yeah. So you'd be wondering, hey, why don't they colonize Mars or something? And while there is a fairly decent reason for rifts, I'm not going to mention it.
Okay. Because we've talked about rifts enough.
Yeah, and Kevin doesn't deserve that.
No.
But for after the bomb, Mars has a natural breathable atmosphere.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's great for living.
Yes, however, it's completely covered by legions of mutant bugs.
As you do.
And they range in intelligence from particularly dim-witted child
Mm-hmm.
to particularly dim-witted human,
Yeah.
but like not the type you have to like worry about. Like you've probably worked with some of these people before.
Okay, like at Walmart.
Yeah, you went to high school with the type. You know who
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Not not the people that like have the special need classes, or maybe it's just for one or two things.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, we get what you're saying,
Yeah,
Ted. We get
just
it.
the dummies of the
Yeah.
world.
Well, you ever heard like the gods and the clods kind of like metaphor?
No, but I can already see where this is going.
Yeah. No, the whole idea is that there's a certain part like the population that i.e. gods, so that get like the higher paid jobs that do all the kind of like more complicated, difficult kind of work,
Yeah,
and then you have the clods, and that's the guys who pump your gas.
yeah.
So
Kevin and I are somewhere in between, but way closer than the closet.
you wait, no, we suffer from more clod than God.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I don't totally agree with that idea, but
yeah. Well, society is inherently elitist,
well,
and we are unfortunately in the like one rung up from the bottom.
well,
So we get to toil our days, clinging to small material pleasures, and tell ourselves we should be happy, or as it's called, late stage capitalism.
well, that would be true if we were not in the apocalypse, Dad.
True, we get to live under the glorious empire.
Yeah, which is great. It's
Way,
great.
it's
It's
way
great.
better
Yeah,
than it's way better than America, at least.
we can all agree here. So, going from that, there is giant mutant bugs.
So obviously you can't live there, so you have to like mine the North Pole with under armed guards.
Yeah, to make sure the bugs don't
Yeah,
kill you.
and the of course the moons of Titan.
Yeah.
But there also is just some free trading places. Like there's one asteroid that's just kind of a like trade post dash inn run by this family. That they make it sound like it's just the most fun place to be in the world.
Yeah.
It's like we have about 80 folks. We strum on banjos and serve drinks. It's a good place to find work.
Yeah. You know what? If I'm stuck in this kind of like terrible situation, right? We're stuck on after the bomb. We're still human. We're not like deeply mutated. So we have to go somewhere to find work. I would be a bartender at that bar,
Right.
and I would have a great time doing
It
that.
sounds so fun.
Yeah, it would be sort of like that Switch game that we played, where it's the
Valhalla.
Valhalla.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Valhalla's awesome.
yeah, I love that game. But
Now, if you're going, all right, so what do you do in this world? Well, most of it is trying to survive.
yeah,
Much like current world.
yeah, yeah.
And I think kind of the most ingenious thing is what they use for money.
Okay, I don't remember this. What do they use for money?
The IOU.
Oh yes, and that it's like with water.
It's the ice oxygen unit,
Yes.
which is
Okay.
about a pint of water.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like a currency union.
Right.
So especially in the after the bomb version, water recycling and retention is shit.
Yeah.
So
Technology, 80s.
yeah. So all the all the space stations just have these giant ton chunks of ice tethered to them.
Right. And they're in space, so they keep
Yeah.
firmly frost like the deep
Yeah,
recesses of space.
It's not like they're gonna melt and go anywhere.
No, unless you get too close to the sun. But not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's a different problem. They're getting too close to the sun.
They're already dead, probably at that point.
Yeah, so the money they use is literally a credit for some of that water, which is cool as hell.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, and if you're playing a space trader, you need a certain amount of IOUs to even stay alive, but to also grow any plants.
Yeah.
And because the space stations and ships don't have great radiation shielding,
They use water.
They use water, which
Yeah.
is a pretty good natural radiation shield.
Which is smart. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So basically, you try to get rich on that in the water trade. Maybe you're exploring Mars for aliens or something.
Yeah, whatever you need
You're
to do.
salvaging the graveyard Japanese station.
Yeah, doing those kind of things.
Fighting space pirates.
Spelunking.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So, Ted, in this wonderful world, we made some characters.
Yes.
Do you want to introduce your character first, my friend?
Yes. So now this is Palladium. So you roll for everything in this.
Yeah.
And it goes a little bit deeper than most Palladium games because you roll for where you're from, what your job is, what your species is.
All those good things.
Yes. So, um, I got Morningstar, a pet bird, a budsy to be precise,
To be precise, yes.
from the Outcast Station, uh, who is in fact a fairly elite soldier from there,
Yeah.
which he had to leave to Latka Station in order to actually find a career and training for that.
Right. Of course. Of course.
Now, the roles are nothing to talk about, but the mutations are kind of interesting.
Yep.
So everyone gets one naturally, and then can spend additional points to get additional rolls on this mutation chart. And some of them are flat out nasty, and a lot of them have you roll on different charts.
Yeah. There's like a subchart to that chart, and
Yeah, if you want to purchase more, you actually lose beauty points as you get progressively more and more mutated, which is a nice touch, honestly.
which makes sense. It makes sense. If you have like a fourth arm, I don't think you're necessarily more beautiful because of it.
Yeah, no, I got one naturally, and then I'm from Outcast Station, so I got another.
Yeah.
Now I'll get to those in a second, but the actual thing I got, Pet Bird had a ton of bio EM, the standard, kind of small for human.
Right.
Only I have -1 in strength, nothing major.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, I did pay points to get full flight.
Yes, you did.
Useful when you're in the center of a station or on the moon.
Yep.
Climbing claws. They're not on my hands. No. I got hands, full hands, and wings
Yes.
with limbs on the end. So my claws are just at the end of the wings. The hands on the end of my wings have claws.
Which is great. That's great. I like that.
Yeah, I can talk and climb and all that shit. But that's the main thing. Just I have 6 limbs, and one of them's just bird hands. One of them's just bird feet.
One that's just like
Wings with hands at the end with massive
claws.
claws.
Yeah. Which isn't terrifying at all.
No. And to make this totally not like a Dead Space or what's that game where everything's like a mimic? Not the cell phone one.
Prey.
Prey, yes.
Yeah.
Totally not like Prey. I'm also have chameleon skin.
Oh yeah, so you can blend in with like whatever.
Yes, and of course I can live long periods with very little oxygen and no food because I can also go into a deep hibernation.
Yes, I do remember that being your thing. Yes.
I did not realize how clearly evil this character was.
Yeah, like the perfect apex predator, basically.
Yeah, oh god, if I had to fight this thing, I'd be running.
Yeah, no, same here. I'd be super terrified.
Especially now, makes me feeling better. He's actually not trained very well in a lot of things. Like he's a soldier, but his main thing is firing turrets.
Yeah, so he's more of a sip in the turret kind of firing from the ship.
The other thing he has is zero G combat.
Oh yeah, so he can fight in zero G.
I'm good at 0G combat, but if I'm not trained to just normal gun use at all.
Well, isn't it hard to use guns in in these kind of stations or anything?
In stations, you're in close confines, and who knows what pipes are where.
Right.
Let's not risk it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you're in space, there isn't oxygen to ignite the gunpowder.
Yes, so here we are. So guns aren't that useful, really, unless you're on Mars.
Exactly. So I have claws, so I don't need a close range weapon. So I have a boomerang.
Yes. I forgot about your fabled boomerang.
Oh, man, I love this so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super good at very specific things. I'm kind of an asshole from my training, but I'm also good at bribes and detecting criminals. I could go either way. I'm the Hong Kong cinema criminal turned good guy.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Kevin is, my cousin who obviously went the opposite direction. Now, Kevin, of course, look, the gods decide that Kevin needs to make his general scam artist character.
As per usual.
Yeah, but this, I kind of criticize Kevin for this. It fucking landed on his lap. This was on high going, nope, keep going.
So, first to go with the species of lizard, not specific, but
yeah. So
Shiny brown lizard. Sorry.
Yeah, we looked up the lizard had subtypes,
Yes, yes, it did.
and they're all kind of just generic like small lizards dash pet lizards.
Yes, yes.
Nothing interesting, and I got pet bird, probably a parakeet or what was it?
What's the
Budsy.
what? Oh yeah, and which is the same exact thing.
Yes, we looked it up because we neither of us have ever heard the term Budsy before.
No, that's just like what everyone else calls a parakeet. Like that's not from America.
Yeah, it's just how to them pineapples are uh ananas,
Oh yeah, or you know like a
ananas or something like that. It's very close to banana to the point where like, oh, I'm glad we're the oddballs out because that's got to be confusing.
yes, no, yeah. I mean, at the same time too, like asparagus is referred to as like rockets in
Huh?
like different like cultures
Yeah.
or different like
Most of the
countries.
world refers to eggplants as aubergines.
I kind of like that better.
So there, but here's the thing though, America is pretty bad about like monoculture.
Right,
Like there's a fuck ton of types of potatoes and everything, and we just
right,
don't do those here.
yeah.
Eggplant is a type of aubergine,
Oh, so we just say eggplant, but that's a type
but we
of.
only have that type here.
Oh, oh, okay. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a fuck ton of other ones. I've had them; they're quite good.
Oh, I see. I've never been a big fan of like eggplants.
Oh, I have two in my fridge right now.
Ah.
That's probably like breakfast tomorrow.
My mom makes a, from what I've heard, because I don't like it, but my mom makes a good like eggplant parm.
Ooh, I love eggplant parm.
Yeah, it's pretty good from what I hear.
Uh, actually, because now we have 3 vegetarians in the building, work has decided that they were going to make eggplant parm this Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
All right.
Weirdly enough, I was actually in the menu planning meeting, and I picked a non-vegetarian dish for the one thing I had to pick.
Why'd you do that?
Oh, because it's Good Friday, and I
Oh,
thought we should if I don't want to make an overt move to celebrate religious holidays, but for anyone observing, I thought fish and chips would be a nice option.
oh, that's nice. That's a good plan right there. Yeah, I appreciate that, Ted. Um, so
Throw a bone to the Catholics for once.
for once,
I mean,
they get crapped out a lot.
under the sea of fucking children, let's give them some chips.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. Fair enough, Ted.
Yeah.
So
So before I give Kevin too much crap about this,
yeah, which he could give a lot. I know
I can give a ton.
he can.
Um,
Let's go back into the Russian lizard, which is named Vector Morningstar
yes, I am
or Morningstar.
a very distant relative, we think.
Yes.
Um, which I just go by Budsy.
Yeah, you do go by Bud. Oh yeah, yes. Now I remember that.
Budsy Morningstar.
So talking about being a charlatan, I'm the closest thing you could be to that in this, which is a astrologist.
Yes, which
Is
there's
a respected profession.
yeah. So that's the interesting thing. Now, if you check your horoscopes and really believe that it's part of your day and really the stars align,
Yeah.
you're wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you are. I'm sorry, you're just wrong. However, in After the Bomb, it might actually have something to do with it.
Yeah. There
Now,
is some sort of spiritual.
Yeah, this
thing.
is a world where psychic powers exist. So now, the other benefit of being an astrologer is you also get astronomy.
Yes, which is actually a real science.
Yes, which look, if you're really big into the rotation of planets now,
Yeah.
I mean, good on ya. But I mean, it's cool. I mean, me and my father watch the International Space Station go overhead every chance we get. However, it's a hobby.
Yeah. Doesn't have much practical use in real life,
Yeah.
but
Please forgive that. That was Jerry testing our mics.
yeah, as he does.
It really doesn't have much practical application. However, if you're in orbit, fuck, it's really important
Yeah.
to know where everything's going to be at any particular time.
Yeah, it's good knowledge to have, and I have a mixture of that and astrology. So
Yes, and then you took a lot of con skills, if I recall.
yes, which is a lot of bluffing, a lot of misdirection there, and in general, just being kind of a dirtbag.
Yeah, now, we actually didn't use the book for our skill choice. We just found a big list of all the Palladium skills.
which is super useful because they're not listed nicely in any book that we've read, really.
Yeah, so like I took us a couple skills just for the fun of it.
Yeah,
I have unicycle.
which could be useful depending.
Yeah, no, it just absolutely hilarious. I have history, the Renaissance, weapon proficiency, boomerang.
Oh, by the way, I also have a telescopic sight because I'm a lizard.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
So, despite not being a chameleon, you have like chameleon eyes.
yeah, and I can really scope in. Also useful. I'm a
Yeah,
pilot, so that's useful as well.
yeah, and he's from the Russian station. I moved there to be an elite guard.
Yep, and
Space is limited, so I assume we're roommates or something.
yeah,
Oh,
he's
ooh, ooh.
he's the clean one. I'm the messy
Yeah.
one.
I think I've made this example before, but see Perfect Strangers for details.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. Or our other podcast where we had the two mummies living together.
Yes.
Was it like Mummies in San Francisco or something like that?
It's Mummies in Seattle.
Mummies in Seattle. That was it. Yes, and look at that. That's also a similar situation.
Just, oh yes, we're the chosen ones of these ancient gods. What are you doing tonight? Darts.
Yeah. Let me go blow up something. Uh, fun times. Um,
such, such a bad game.
yeah, yeah.
Now,
But speaking of bad games,
yeah.
what do you think of this one, Ted?
All right. So, out of the 75 BioE I was given,
I was given 1,000.
no, it was like 90.
I'm sorry,
for you.
sorry. I meant IOUs. I mean,
Oh yeah. Well, so you were from a different space station.
that's true.
So
Yeah.
you started with different stuff and skills than I did.
Yes.
I had less IOUs, but I also got another
Mutation.
random roll in the mutation table.
That's true. Okay. Right.
For better or for worse, it happened to be better.
Yeah. That equals out.
Yeah, like there is just like a 10% block that is roll in this chart for physical deformities.
Yep. And that is a weird tumor on your head,
Yeah, I don't have that.
which is good.
No, I am actually above average in looks.
With your scary claws and your chameleon skin.
Yes.
I like it. Okay.
So out of the 90, I think your character started with.
Oh, BioE?
Yes.
Okay.
I started with less because I like started by pedal and such.
Yes. Yes, I remember this. Okay.
I would probably give this game a 30.
30? Okay. I would go a little bit lower and say like 20.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
So here's my thing. I think if the tech was like a little bit higher, I'd be more interested with this book in general. So
Yeah, I get that. Part of me really likes kind of having retro technology, but I think if you want to do that,
yeah,
well, you have to look at the sci-fi for the area or the era.
era, yeah,
So, like, if you had just Alien, the movie style tech,
right,
it's like, oh no, it's super tech. We still have the same user interface though.
yeah,
There's a lot more wires than there would be nowadays.
right, and I would enjoy that a lot more.
Yes.
But this is kind of limited in that, so it's not terrible. If it was more advanced, I'd go like higher. But as I am right now, I'll give it like 20 out of the 90 I could possibly have.
Yeah, so both pretty radical fails actually.
Yeah.
Neither of us would play this.
I'd make a character in it.
Yeah, make a character in it. I'd rather play Roadhogs though.
Roadhogs was more interesting. I'd rather play
Yeah.
that. To be
Which
fair,
is saying something.
yeah.
Now, if we're playing the Rift version, I'd play this over Roadhogs.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But we're not.
We're not doing that. So here we
Rachel
are.
Ted is having a really bad week, and we just reviewed the Rifts part of this book.
So I do want everyone to look forward to something here, which is going to be our April Fool's video.
Yes. Now, Kevin does not know what 3-hour movie I'm
We're
about
gonna
to
be-
force him to watch.
Yeah.
However, I can say for a while it was the only 100% movie on IMDb.
IMDb.
Yeah, is that not what I said?
No, you said IMDb or
Whatever
I
it was, that website, the movie website. And while it no longer has that, it is still one of the best rated movies. I want to say it's like 97.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know what? All right, that sounds great.
Yeah, and Kevin is going to watch it in its entirety, whether or not he wants to.
Want to watch that today?
Preferably, yes.
Okay, so I need
We're
to go
gonna,
do that.
yeah, we're gonna do that. Interesting enough, because of editing reasons, that episode might come out before this one. We'll find out. No,
I
actually not. No, it won't.
so here's the thing. I'm gonna be editing this, and I'm gonna try and post it up by tomorrow.
Oh
So
shit.
I have the ability to post the other one up on April 1st.
Oh, okay. Okay, Kevin's going. Yeah, we have to watch the movie right now then.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Have a good night, and
We'll see you in a bit.
I owe Saturnalia.